Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here on USB Unaffiliated Sports Broadcast. Hey, what a day yesterday was for games here in the Tooele County area. Today's another day of good action, so get out there, support these teams, go check it out. You're missing out if you don't, I promise. And by the looks of it, it looks like you might have missed some good games yesterday if you didn't go out and see them. So, get out there, support these guys. Let's show some love. You know what I mean? But anyways. I'm going to do the recaps of yesterday's games as best I can. Obviously, I wasn't at all of them, okay? And, I haven't had a chance to really watch any of the playback, so I'm really just kind of looking at stats right now. But then we'll get into today's matchup, and see where that gets us as well, okay? So for recap number one and game number one, we've got let's start with the Stansbury men's team. As they were on the road yesterday in Cottonwood, the 1-3 Stallions faced the 3-3 Colts, looking to keep the momentum from their first win of the season alive. But unfortunately, they would be unable to recreate the success that they had down low with Tegan Johnson in the last game, as he would only record 2 points on last night's game after scoring a season high 15 in the previous. It was a big night, however, for number 15 Toby Johnson, as he would score 12, making this his best performance of the night. So good job to you, young man. As anticipated, the three-point shooting was prominent for the Stallions, as they made 8 on the night, led by number 1, Aiden Pearson. And the leading scorer for the Stallions was number 2, Will Stevens, with 14 on the night, to include 2 three-pointers of his own. But they would fall in this game, losing to Cottonwood to a score of 88-62. And that was largely in part because it would be the 40-point performance by number 4 for Cottonwood, John Rosevier, that proved to be too much to handle for the Stallions, as he hit an impressive 10 three-pointers on the night, guys, and the team as a whole would drop 13 threes. You got a player scoring 40, dropping 10 threes. I mean, that's tough, man. That's tough. So, I don't know. That's good game for that young man, though. Holy cow. The Stallions were outscored 22-9 in the first quarter, putting them in a hole early, but played well for the other 3 quarters. Scoring 21 points coming out of half. But unfortunately, that first quarter deficit, I think, was just too much to overcome. The first quarter was definitely their kryptonite, but they did play pretty good according to the numbers. They played pretty good in that remaining 3 quarters. So the Stallions did okay from the free throw line, shooting 60% on 10 attempts. Meanwhile, the Colts shot a spectacular 100% on 9 attempts. If you paid attention, I try to shout out free throws because I think they're important. The Stallions look to bounce back tonight at home against the 7-0 Green Canyon Wolves, who come into Stansbury after sweeping their matchups during the Coach Tooele basketball tournament this past weekend. The Wolves are led by number 2, Jude Hay, with 166 points on the season, 23 three-pointers, 42 rebounds, 14 assists, and 9 steals. In second place for him is number 1, Gavin Crane. He's got 85 points, 1 three-pointer, 25 rebounds, 10 assists, and 9 steals. Number 21, Boston Horman, 66 points, 11 three-pointers, 34 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals. Number 10, Easton Stokes, with 57 points, 7 three-pointers, 20 rebounds, 39 assists, and 18 steals. In fifth place, you got number 3, Gavin Erickson, with 34 points, 8 three-pointers, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals. And in sixth place, you got number 33, Jamison Thompson, with 29 points, 2 three-pointers, 29 rebounds, 10 assists, and 8 steals. Now, the Wolves hit an impressive 55 threes on the season, while shooting an impressive 83% from the line on the season, with 78 attempts. Meanwhile, Stansbury has dropped 29 threes on the season and has gone 60% from the line, or went 60% from the line in their last game. The leaders for the Stallions are number 25, Porter Hinton. He's got 47 points on the season, 7 three-pointers. In second, you got number 2, Will Stevens, 42 points with 6 three-pointers of his own. Number 1, Aiden Pearson with 36 points and an impressive 10 three-pointers. Number 15, Toby Johnson with 32 points, moving his way up the points chart after his last game. Good job, young man. Number 53, Tegan Johnson, sitting at 29 points. And in sixth place, number 11, Luke Rich with 27 points. So good job to all those guys. and there's been some movement there. So that's what you like to see. You like to see other players getting involved. That's good to see. Now, assuming that Deseret News is accurate, the Wolves will definitely have the size advantage, as they have 5 players listed on their roster at over 6'5", and 2 of them being the top 2 scorers. And they're both listed as 6'7". I don't know how accurate that is, but that's pretty dang impressive. If I read correctly, that number 2, Jude Hay, yeah, I think that's probably accurate for him. I'm just not so sure about Gavin Crane. I'm not sure, but either way, they definitely look to have the height advantage there. And that's not everything, but it's definitely a factor, right? And the Stallions have hit, but the Stallions have hit 19 threes in the last 2 games, and have found success when they win the first quarter but 3 out of their 5 games, they've come out flat, scoring less than 10 in the opening quarter. So I think if Stansbury can come out with intensity like we saw in the Tooele game especially, and the Grantsville game, and take the first quarter, or at least hit double digits in that first quarter, I think they'll be in a good spot. I really do. That seems to be their kryptonite, that first quarter, because they can hang in there for the rest of them. So I think if they can get that corrected, and like I said, at least hit double digits in that quarter, I think they'll be in an okay spot. So this game will be tonight at 7 p.m. in Stansbury. So if you're around, you got nothing going on, which most people don't, get your butt up there. Go support these young men. They put in a lot of work, and they're getting better, game by game. So get out there and support them. So again, that's the Stansbury game day against the. I already forgot, and I'm the guy doing the dang podcast. Look at me go. Yep, the Green Canyon Wolves, excuse me. So get out there and support those guys, okay? All right. As for recap number 2, or game day number 2. Okay, looking ahead to recap number 2 and game day number 2, we're going to stick with the Stansbury Stallions here. The Lady Stallions have now won 2 in a row as they take the win on the road in Ogden last night with a score of 55-51, led by number 23, Dania Malu, and 21, Addie Hansen, with 12 points each on the night. Both teams shot about 40% from the line in this one, while Ogden hit 3 threes and the Stallions dropped 4. So pretty even split there on those 2 stat lines. The Stallions came out strong. Winning the first quarter 18-6. Very good job there, and would maintain a strong performance until the fourth, where they were outscored 17-5, almost allowing Ogden to get back in it. Though they've won their last 2, this was the same trend in both games. They kind of started allowing the team back into it in the fourth quarter and just didn't really do well in the fourth quarter in particular. So this is something I'm hoping they can adjust. As the first 4 games, they did very well in the fourth quarter. But nonetheless, the ladies hung on to win that one on the road in Ogden. And I don't know why I did this. I did say, there it is, with a score of 55-51. I thought I missed it in my notes, guys. Sorry about that. But again, that fourth quarter kind of concerns me because, like I said, that's 2 games in a row where they've kind of let the fourth quarter slip away from them. So I think that's definitely something that they're going to want to improve on, to ensure success moving forward. Because again, at the beginning of the season, they did really well in the fourth quarter. So, but whatever, things change. I understand that. So that's just an area of concern from my perspective. So for Ogden in this one, their leading scorer was number 51, Jill Wood, with 10 points and 2 threes on the night. Meanwhile, for the Stallions, they look to keep that momentum going as they take on the Cottonwood Colts tonight at 7 p.m. They'll be in Cottonwood, by the way. So the Colts are 4-0 on the season, averaging 71 points per game, shooting 68% from the line on 84 attempts, and dropping 23 three-pointers. Now, they come into this one after an overtime victory against Olympus, 79-76. So that looked like that was a real good game to see. So their spirits are probably high, right? And that can be problematic. So their leaders on the season are number 3, Carly Caton, Caton, Caton. She's got 65 points on the season. Number 23, Avea Vanderbeek, 62 points, 1 three-pointer. Number 24, Taylor Workman, with 47 points and 8 three-pointers. Number 1, Morris, with 45 points, 6 three-pointers. Number 34, Ashlyn Tripp with 43 points and 6 3-pointers as well. And number 10, Lulu Vernon with 13 points. Now, as for the Stallions, they're looking to keep their win streak alive, averaging 46 points per game, shooting 41% from the line on 100 attempts and dropping 13 threes thus far this season. The Stallions are led by number 21, Addie Hansen, with 63 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Number 15, Apizi Male with 57 points. 2 of those, 2 3-pointers, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Number 12, Hallie McGee. She's got 38 points on the season, 5 3-pointers, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. And number 23, Dania Malu with 30 points on the season so far. Number 14, Sadie Kennedy with 25 points, 1 rebound, and 1 steal. And coming in 6th place, number 1, Camry Bryan with 23 points, 4 3-pointers of her own, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. Now, again, this game will be in Cottonwood tonight at 7 p.m., so good luck, ladies. I'm hopeful they can identify the problem with the fourth quarter in particular and, continue to elevate their performance and, continue to hit and hopefully hit a 3-game winning streak. So good luck to you, ladies. Again, in Cottonwood tonight at 7 p.m., I know that they have a huddle there, so if you guys want to watch those. Same with the Green Canyon one. You should be able to look up Stansbury men varsity basketball and put huddle at the end, HUDL, and be able to find that. And then with the girls, it should be the same thing. Stansbury girls basketball, HUDL at the end, and it'll probably be the first one that pops up. So you should be able to check both those games out. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Excuse me. The girls are in Cottonwood, so you want to do that for Cottonwood. Cottonwood girls basketball, because the home team usually hosts it. So unless it's Ogden, and then they put it on their YouTube channel, but they don't ever put it on their YouTube channel. And then if you want to watch it on Huddle, you got to pay money. So, yeah. Anyways, so that's game 2. The Stansbury Stallions on the road tonight against the Cottonwood Colts. Good luck, ladies. All right, and now for recap number 4, the last game from yesterday, the one that I was at personally. It was a great game. The Grantsville ladies hosted Draper APA last night, who came into this game 4-2 on the season and averaging 53 points a game, led by number 10, Aaliyah Baldwin, who had 159 points coming into this game on the season. The Grantsville ladies would hold the Eagles to their average, winning this one 69-52, outscoring the Eagles 38-17 in the first half. It was a monster night. It was a monster night for number 15, Emmy Butler, as she would achieve her season high 21 points with 3 3-pointers, a great 14 rebounds, and 6 steals, earning herself a double-double, her first on the year. Congratulations, young lady. Number 11, Avery Allred, led the team with 24 points, while number 10, Cody Williams, led an assist with 7 on the night. But seriously, though, after watching the JV game where Butler saw a lot of minutes in the first half of that game in particular, I don't think she played in the second half. I could be wrong, but I don't think she did. I thought she looked a little gassed, if I'm being honest. She was doing some serious work down low, and the thing about JV games versus varsity games, the more fouls kind of get let go on both sides. Like, parents will try to tell you that it's one side versus the other, but it's really both sides, right? And so there's a lot more kind of going on, and she looked tired. She looked tired. She looked like she was exhausted from battling, right? So, and I know I assumed based off the game day podcast from yesterday that she was going to have a big night on the boards in particular, but I did not expect the performance that she put on after seeing that JV game. I'm just going to be honest. Like, she did a fantastic job, and boy was I wrong, because she still had a lot left in the tank. So great job, young lady. You balled out last night. Enough can't be said. You played amazing. Number 1, Bailey Louder, struggled a little bit though last night, only getting 9 points, but she did a great job helping out her team in other areas. So hey, you struggle on one, you bounce back at the other. That's what you like to see, right? She had 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. So great all-around performance by the team. Struggling in some areas, dominating in others, and kind of like, if you listen to the Tooele part, right, where I was saying, hey, if they can stop Kennedy Searle, who's going to step up? Hey, if they were able to stop Bailey Lauder, or if she was having an off night, who's going to step up? And for Grantsville, it was definitely Emmy Butler. She did a fantastic job. So, and that's what you like to see. That's the point of a team, right? So no shade being thrown at anybody. That was a great performance. As for Draper APA, after being outscored 38-17, they would come out with a new energy in the second half. Definitely new energy. Led by their star, number 10, Aaliyah Baldwin, who came out with a 3 right out the gate, and then followed up by a mid-range shot. She scored 5 in the opening, I think it was minute and a half maybe. Not sure. But she was ready to play. She was, and it really set the tone for her team too, because everybody kind of picked it up after that. And she would end the night with 23 points, which is below her average of 26, but pretty dang close to her average, right? So she really has a good looking shot. I'm not gonna lie, I was genuinely impressed. She's a good shooter. She's got solid dribbles, and she's a very good passer as well. I don't know. She can see the floor very well. She's anticipating things ahead. She's a very good player. She's a very good player. And I hope she's able to find success after high school. I really do, because I think it's there for sure. The one downside, I think she's a little on the shorter side, but her game definitely makes up for it. So I'm hopeful that she can find her way after high school, because she's a heck of a baller. But she was backed up by the team's second leading scorer, Samantha Karchner, who had 15 on the night, and a 3-pointer. Now, she's listed at 5'11". She has very good size, and I think, I was a little shocked to see how often, she would drift out to the 3-point line, at least in the first quarter. I didn't expect that, just given the size difference between her and a lot of the other players. But yeah, again, I just didn't expect that. But she played very well. Very well. I was impressed by her catch-up speed on defense in particular. Like, she did a really good job, moving from, the top of the 3 basically to the inside very smoothly and efficiently. That was pretty interesting to see. She did a very good job. Yeah, I think, yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading my notes there, but I think that was a good matchup for Grantsville with that player in particular, with Karchner. Not sure which one it is, but because she plays very similar to, I think, a lot of the players on Grantsville. So it was very interesting to kind of see that. Let's see. Number 15, Amin Ajak, who ended up with 8 points, who I believe is a sophomore. I could be wrong about that, but she's got some serious potential as well for a Draper APA. I'm not sure of her height exactly. It wasn't listed, but I would guess it's close to that 5'11" mark as well. She's just a little undersized. She's pretty thin, and so I think if and that's just right now. If she can increase that, I think she could really be good for them moving forward. I think the mechanics are there. She understands the flow of the game. It looked like, from my perspective at least. So they definitely got a good team there. Grantsville just did a phenomenal job in the first half, keeping them at bay, because the second half they came back with a vengeance. And Grantsville wins this one, like I said, 69-52. They beat them by 17, right? But that's pretty much the first quarter, right? So, or the first half, excuse me. So, they're not a bad team by any means, and they definitely clawed right back into it. So the second half was definitely much more of a ball game, definitely. But I have to give credit to Draper APA for sticking with it and making solid adjustments. Because the one thing I've seen with Grantsville women's basketball in particular is a lot of times they'll blow teams out of the water, and they don't really come back from halftime like that. And so I think that was super exciting to see from my perspective. They did a fantastic job. They came up short, but they played very well, and they've got a lot going for them, I think. So good luck to them moving forward. But again, what a night though for Emmy Butler. Couldn't be more impressed. Congratulations, young lady. You balled out. It was fantastic. So the Grantsville ladies have their next game on Thursday, December 12th in Grantsville at 7 p.m., which is tomorrow, where they will host the currently, as of today, 5-0 Syracuse Titans. So again, that game will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Okay, recap number 3 and game day number 3. The Tooele Lady Buffs were at home last night where they completely dismantled Ben Lomond, winning that game 65-16. Thanks to a phenomenal night by number 5, Kennedy Searle, who had 23 points with 3 3-pointers, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Great job to that young lady. What a game. While the Scots were led by number 4, Peyton Huff, with 6 points, all coming from 3-pointers. The Buffaloes had an impressive defensive showcase, shutting out the Scots in the fourth quarter. They scored no points in the fourth quarter. The Scots would shoot 50% from the line on just 2 attempts, while the Buffaloes shot an impressive 71% on 14 attempts. Good job, ladies. Yeah, not a lot to cover there. Don't know what's going on in Ben Lomond, but hopefully they can get it figured out because that's rough for everybody, right? So, but great game for the Buffaloes. I mean, 65-16, they put up a lot of points. They did very well. And clearly, defense, if I remember right, Ben Lomond came into that game averaging only 20 points per game. They kept him under that even. So, great job by the Buffaloes. And hopefully, like I said, Ben Lomond can figure out what's causing them the problems because that's rough for everybody. So the now 5-1 Lady Buffs, who are averaging 52 points per game, look to keep their 3-game win streak alive, heading on the road tonight to face the 3-3 Mountain View Bruins, who are averaging about the same, 52 points per game. The Bruins are shooting 54% on 67 attempts. Yeah, on 67 attempts that are listed, at least. I think there were some games that didn't have any stats. And hitting 27 threes on the season. Meanwhile, the Buffaloes head out shooting 63% from the line and dropping 35 threes on the season. For the Bruins, your leaders are number 3, Kimberly Brown, with 92 points, 7 3-pointers. Number 23, J.C. Carlson with 69 points, 10 3-pointers. Good job to that young lady. Number 1, Sienna Bramble with 62 points, 5 3-pointers of her own. Number 2, Leah Sugaturaga with 30 points, 3 3-pointers. Number 20, Sarah Lynn Hare with 18 points. And number 21, Claire Anderson with 12 points and 2 3-pointers of her own. Your leaders for the Buffaloes are number 5, Kennedy Searle, with 87 points, 16 3-pointers on the season. Great job, young lady. 45 rebounds, 10 assists, and 19 steals. What a season she is having. Man, that's a good stat line. Number 3, Holly Hogan, with 54 points, 7 3-pointers of her own. Great job. 10 rebounds, 14 assists, and impressive 23 steals on the season. Great job to that young lady. Number 13, Macy Guston, with 50 points, 2 3-pointers, 13 rebounds, 11 assists, great job, and 15 steals to go along with that. In fourth place, you got number 23, Camilla Laura. She's got 48 points, 1 3-pointer, and I feel like that might be a little wrong. I don't know. Who am I to judge? 39 rebounds, though. Great job on the rebounds. 3 assists and 11 steals. In fifth place, you got number 15, Berkeley McClaws. She's got 43 points, 5 3-pointers. 16 rebounds, 4 assists, and 10 steals as well. And then finally making the top 6, number 11, Ayana So, with 14 points, 3 3-pointers, 5 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 steals. Great job, ladies. Great job. I love to see people moving up those lists. It just shows that you can't, even though I cover a lot of stats, it shows that you can't just base it all off on stats, right? So I do love to see that. I love to see that growth as the season progresses. It's awesome. So now on paper, these teams look very similar. So I imagine this is going to be a good matchup for the Lady Buffs. Tooele has acquired an impressive 91 steals on the season. So I'm looking for that Buffalo defense to tighten the clamps a bit as they face a team that is having pretty good success from 3 this year. If the Bruins can contain Searle, it'll be interesting to see who steps up. As she's been the leading scorer in their last 2 games in particular. I think Hogan is a likely candidate for that, but I think the drive and dish part of her game, it may free up other opportunities for players like McClaws to hit some threes in the event that Searle is contained. And also she's hit some big threes in the last couple games. So I think though Hogan is the likely candidate because of her ability to drive the ball and shoot the ball. She's also pretty good at assists, right? So she's got 14 on the season. That's I think that part of her game could really benefit them. So it'll be interesting if the Bruins can contain Searle and keep her points down. Who's going to stand up and kind of fill that void? That'll be the interesting part to see. So good luck, ladies. This game will be tonight at 7 p.m. in Mountain View. Again, good luck. Keep that streak alive. Let's keep it going. You're doing great things. Keep it up. Okay, so that wraps up our recap for the most part of the games today, with the exception of the last but not least, the USB game of the week. We've got the 1-4 Tooele Buffaloes men's team hosting the 2-3 Grantsville Cowboys. Now, Grantsville comes into this one having lost 2 of their last 3, shooting 70% from the line and draining 33s thus far on the season. The Buffaloes come into this one currently on a 3-game losing streak, looking to break free of that tonight as they are shooting 61% from the line and have dropped 28 threes so far on the season. Now, the Cowboys are led by number 2, Bryson Roberts, with 69 points, 3 3-pointers, 13 rebounds, 15 assists, and 8 steals. Great job, young man. Number 11, Dresden Jensen, with 41 points, 25 rebounds, 1 assist, and 4 steals. Number 24, my man, Dennis the Menace Castano, with 39 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and 6 steals. I think he's also hit 9 threes. Could be wrong about that. I don't know why I didn't write it down, but I didn't. Number 15, Jackson Kell. He's got 29 points on the season and 9 rebounds. In 5th place, number 10, Cam Killian, with 27 points, 7 3-pointers, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 steals. And number 34, Mike Troxel, making his way onto the list for the first time this season. Good job, sir, with 20 points, 2 3-pointers, and 4 rebounds. Now, your leaders for the Buffaloes are number 24, Crew Lewis, with 84 points, 9 3-pointers, 38 rebounds, 12 assists, and 6 steals. You've got number 2, Mason Heap, with 52 points, 10 3-pointers, 14 rebounds, 18 assists, and 5 steals. Number 1, Grady Simons. He's got 49 points, 3 3-pointers, 35 rebounds. Great job, sir. 6 assists and 7 steals. In 4th place, you got number 10, Weston Hogan. 44 points on the season so far. 1 3-pointer, 21 rebounds, 13 assists, and 6 steals. Number 5, number 13, Jackson Mather. He's got 41 points, 2 3-pointers on the season so far, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. And in sixth place, you've got number 4, Christian Rogers, with 17 points, 1 3-pointer, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. Now, for Grantsville, I think this could be a big game for Dresden Jensen and Jackson Kell. As like I said, for the Stansbury matchup for Tooele, I don't know that Tooele has the size to win consistently down low. I think they do a good job fighting for rebounds. I mean, you heard the stat line there, right? They do a very good job fighting for those rebounds. I just don't know if they can do that consistently, right? Like Simons does very well being aggressive and getting to those boards, but I just don't know that he's going to be able to do it consistently. So I think it could be a big night for those two. Dresden's having a great year so far this season, and I think he can potentially continue that tonight. And if Jackson Kell can come off the bench, and I say off the bench because historically that's kind of been where he's been coming into the game, right? Is as a reserve. If he can come in and continue that momentum and add to the points, at the same time, while generating some rebounds as well, I think it's going to be a big night for those guys. I really do. The Grantsville defense, I think, has a little bit of edge with steals just because of the type of defense that they generally play. But and a lot of that's based off the fact that historically, I think I've seen and obviously this is just based off what I've been able to see. Right, I haven't been at every game, but historically, I feel like Tooele does a lot of muscle memory passes, and I think that's a benefit for Grantsville if Tooele can't take care of the ball. So, but I definitely feel the Cowboys have the height advantage in this one, and that proved to be detrimental for Tooele in their matchup against Stansbury. So it might be a little bit more of the same there. Hopefully Tooele is able to bounce back from what they learned from that game, and it's not as big of a factor, but I think it has the potential to be a factor. I think they'll need. I think Tooele is going to need some production out of their bench, though, as I think this one's going to get chippy early. And yeah, So that's just my opinion. But for Tooele, I think their best bet is to try and get the bigs of Grantsville in foul trouble early. Simons does very well getting down low and snag. He snagged 35 rebounds so far this year. But I think it's going to be another tough matchup for him. I really do. So if Tooele can utilize their great ability to get to the rim and maybe get some fouls on those bigs, I think that's going to put them in a good position. I really do. They've had 106 attempts at the free throw line this season. So I'm inclined to think that's because of their driving ability, and I think they should definitely take advantage of that and try to get Grantsville in a bad position. Tooele has 58 assists, though, as well, compared to Grantsville's 37. So I think that also opens up the opportunity for them to kind of do a drive and dish type thing and really open up those three-point shooters. Really, even the mid-range, I think that's going to be an added benefit for them. I think if they move on offense and work the defense into a bad position, then I think they'll be okay. I really do. Because they had, in that game against Stansbury, they had some pretty decent looks. They just weren't getting them to drop. You know what I mean? So that really hurt them. With the exception of the early shot clock threes that I talked about, in my recap, I think that they had good looks. They just weren't able to get them to go in. So hopefully that's a little bit different tonight. And again, this is all assuming that Tooele takes care of the ball, because like I said, historically, from my perspective, they've kind of struggled with that a little bit, and it'll make it difficult for them. Castano has become a serious threat from three, and Cam Killian can get hot very quick from three, so the three ball could definitely be devastating to Tooele, but I do think Tooele has the advantage at the guard position in terms of overall size. I do feel that way. Bryson Roberts is pretty good on the size category, and Castano's definitely stronger than he appears. I just feel like the Buffaloes have a little bit of an edge there, and that could be tough. That could be tough for Grantsville going into this. On defense for Tooele, I think they're going to have to be extremely disciplined on defense, so that they don't, because I don't think they really have the depth on the bench that Grantsville does. The bench definitely goes in favor of Grantsville, because you got number 23 Zimmer for Grantsville. When he comes in, he gets some fouls pretty quick, but he's another big dude to have down low. You got number 8 Fossen coming off the bench, contributing great on defense. He's got 7 steals of his own on the season so far. So I think the bench advantage is definitely in Grantsville's favor. So Tooele is going to really have to be disciplined, I think, on defense to avoid foul trouble of their own. But in a nutshell, though, I'm super excited for this game. I really am. I've been looking forward to this game since the schedules were up before the season even started. So I can't wait. I think it's going to be a very good game, and I think there's going to be a ton of talent on the floor. So definitely get out there and check that out if you're in the area. It's going to be great. Again, this game will be tonight, 7 p.m. in Tooele. So that'll do it for the recap and the game day episode. Good luck to all these teams tonight, and great job last night as well. Fans, be sure to get your backsides out there to these games, okay? Go support your local athletes, right? Like, it's one thing to buy into and support the fundraisers, right? That's one thing. But I look at it like this. Just because you pay child support doesn't mean you're a good parent. So get present. Let's get out there. Let's support these guys. I'm not saying you're their parents, okay? But I think you get the analogy, right? So get there. You'll enjoy it. I really think you will. And it's $7. It's not that bad. So I don't think people really appreciate the amount of talent that we have out here. We've got a lot of talented athletes out here. And these athletes, they're doing amazing things night after night. So get out there. Show your support. Go enjoy a basketball game. You might find that you really like it, So I'll be at the Tooele and Grantsville game tonight, so feel free to come say hi if you want. I'll be the guy sitting over there recording. So, but yeah, that'll wrap it up. So until next time, I'll see you at the game, guys.